Good evening. We do have a member of the Minister Alliance with us this evening. Colton, would you please come forward?
Let's pray. Jesus, we thank you so much for today. We thank you for this meeting. God, we just pray that you bless everybody in this room. Bless the leadership here in Oak Grove. God, we thank you for them. God, give them wisdom. We thank you so much. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I did. I went like this though. I ducked. I know. Good for me. I'm learning.
I call the October 6, 2025 Board of Aldermen meeting to order. City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Melissa Johnson.
Here.
Shane Shawbaker.
Here.
Kelly Netto.
Here.
Tracy Newcomer.
Here.
Rachel Kilmer.
Here.
Pam Pope.
Here.
And Mayor Dana Webb.
Here, thank you. The next item on the agenda is new business deletions or continuances. We do not have any of those this evening, so we will move on to public comments. This evening, we have one public comment. We have Lacey Hanover. Would you please come forward? Did I say your last name correctly? All right. Lacey, would you please state your name and address?
Lacey Hanover, 1605 Southeast Kingsway Street.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Lacey Hanover. So I was just going to talk about how there's a significant and worsening nationwide shortage of organs for transplantation in the U.S., with over 100,000 people on the waiting list and thousands dying each year while waiting for organs. And so I'm going to share a little bit of my story. I was born with liver disease but lived a fairly normal childhood until a routine checkup revealed I had a rare condition that was only cured with a new liver. Luckily, 2 months later, I was placed on the transplant list. Just 2 weeks after that, I got the call. There was a match. That gift saved my life. I'm here today because someone said yes to organ donation. Their decision gave me a future, and it reminded me of how organ donation impacts not just the recipient, but the families and friends and entire communities. So if you guys would please consider becoming an organ donor, and you could be the reason someone else gets to keep writing their story. And I will have a booth at the Night Out Against Crime on Thursday, just with information and a way to register to be an organ donor. Right, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Lacey. Thank you for coming
sharing.
and sharing your story. We really appreciate it. Thank you for being brave. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. These items are considered on the consent agenda so that members of the Board of Aldermen, by unanimous consent, can designate routine items to be approved by one motion. Tonight, we have approval of the September 15th, 2025 Board of Aldermen meeting minutes and expenditures through October 2nd, 2025.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We have no unfinished business tonight, so we will move on to new business. The first item on the agenda is a public hearing regarding the rezoning of property located north-south 12th Street and Cemetery Road. Matt?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So when a property owner requests a zoning change, the city reviews whether the proposed new zoning fits with surrounding uses, existing infrastructure, and long-term planning and goals, and whether the existing zoning is appropriate for that location. Any request to amend the city's official zoning map requires review and recommendation by the Planning and Zoning Commission, followed by final action by the Board of Aldermen and Women. The process is guided by the criteria outlined in sections 405.075K, as well as 405.085 of the Unified Development Code. This includes considerations such as how well the proposed change fits within the neighborhood's characters, adjacent existing land uses, also looks at the impact on public infrastructure like roads, utilities, schools, parks, and whether the property is suitable as currently zoned and whether the parcel is vacant as well. You can also assess the potential effects on nearby properties, including traffic, parking, environmental concerns, property values, the community's need for the proposed use, its economic impact, and other factors as to whether public services can support the rezoning request. Finally, you can evaluate the request as whether or not it aligns with city's plans and policies, as well as land use guidance documents, and whether the applicant and the parcel can meet the required zoning requirements that they're being asked to rezone to. So tonight, you're being asked to review a zoning change requested by Nicholas Spencer, who's the property owner. This concerns 2 parcels. Both are located on the north side of 12th Street and Cemetery Road. The parcels are currently zoned M1, or light industrial. The applicant is requesting that both of those parcels be rezoned to R1, which is single-family residential. The review process includes a public hearing followed by review and your action. There are 2 parcels, so there will be 2 separate public hearings followed by 2 corresponding actions regarding the rezoning request. The first public hearing action will be on the west parcel of 1.3 acres. The second public hearing and action will be on the east parcel of 6.3 acres. Each hearing and action will be conducted separately, allowing for individual public comment as well as deliberation on each parcel by the board. The parcels are currently vacant and separated by a narrow strip of public right-of-way and city-owned land. In terms of the surrounding zoning, R1 exists to both the north and south, with a mix of R3 and M1 to the east and M1 to the west. While the properties are currently designated for industrial use under the city's future land use map, the surrounding property and land particularly to the north, south, and east is shown as residential or mixed residential, indicating this is a potential transition area in the neighborhood's character. Staff has reviewed the application as well as supporting documentation. Based on this review, staff finds that the proposed zoning change from M1 to R1 is generally compatible with adjacent properties. The proposed zoning change does not appear to injure or cause any negative impacts to neighboring properties. In fact, the requested change would actually reduce the total length of shared boundary between residential and industrial zones. The total linear feet would decrease, which would actually help minimize potential land use conflicts in the future. That said, the rezoning does shift away from the future land use map, which still does designate those as industrial use, so the board may want to consider whether the proposed changes reflects the appropriate long-term direction of this area, or if it would be more consistent to maintain its current zoning. Of note, the future land use map as part of the comprehensive plan is simply a guide for development and land use. It is not a land control document, so it's just a guide for you. You can use it how you may. The proposed residential zoning is not expected to present any significant infrastructure challenges or create adverse environmental impacts. In fact, compared to potential industrial development, R1 would have likely have less traffic and fewer demands on public utilities and public services. Staff also notes that the properties have remained vacant under M1 zoning, which may indicate limited suitability for industrial uses at that location. In addition, M1 may not be the most appropriate use given the adjacent properties and development that has occurred in the area. There is, R1 subdivisions going in as well as parkland nearby. Staff has not identified any immediate negative effects on the neighboring properties regarding the proposed zoning request. The proposed zoning request has been posted publicly, as well as letters went out to neighbors. The Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing on that rezoning request at their September 6th Planning and Zoning meeting. After public hearings, the commission recommended unanimous approval for the rezoning of both parcels from M1 to R1. The city has not received any public comment on the rezoning request other than supporting information from the applicant themselves. After the close of this public hearing, the Board of Aldermen may approve or deny the zoning change request. And then just as a final general guidance, the discussion and action should be rooted in the review criteria in our UDC, which is at section 405.075K, as well as 405.085. And with that, I'd be happy to answer questions the board may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Does the board have any questions for Matt at this time?
Just one thing I wasn't really clear on the notes from the planning and zoning meeting. Jim Dent was asking if you can build a single-family home in its current zoning. And I wasn't ever clear if we got a solid answer on that.
No.
You cannot?
You
Okay.
cannot, yeah.
Okay.
So, his question gets to whether or not the city has what's called cumulative zoning.
Okay.
Pyramid zoning, tiered zoning, which is that in each, as the districts get more intensive, every use in that prior zoning is allowed in the next zoning.
Got it.
So for instance, R1 might be the least intense, so anything that's allowed in R1 would be allowed in R2. Anything then in R2 and R1 would be allowed in R3. Anything in R1, R2, R3 would be allowed in commercial. Anything in C2 would be allowed in R1, R2, R3. We do not have that type of zoning structure here.
Got it.
Ours is more of like a Euclidean zoning, which means each district has its own specific allowable uses for each district.
Right.
We did have, which I think was where some of the confusion may have come from, prior to our current UDC, the city did have that type of zoning,
Got
but
it.
we no longer have that, have not had it for several decades.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions for city staff at this time? Members of the public who wish to step forward at this time to make comments, please state your name and address prior to your comments. I now open the public hearing. Since there are no comments for the public hearing, I now close the public hearing. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action for Bill Number 25-16 regarding an ordinance granting a change in zoning classification for the acreage on 12th Street and Cemetery Road from M1 to R1, single family. So we can have discussion now. Pam, if you want to elaborate any on the planning and zoning meeting, you can.
I just want to say that there was a lot of discussion about how the area was in the past, that there was a lot more light industrial use in the area that's no longer there. Concrete plant, things that have been gone for a very long time, and it has moved to much more residential in the surrounding area. And also that it was brought up and there was concern, wanted to make sure there was other M1 areas in town, and there are, and they're shown in the maps that were provided to us, but they did want to make sure that there was still a retention of that, and there is.
Very good. Yes, it was a lengthy discussion. We more or less agreed that the M1 was there in the past, in the 60s, because it was close to the train tracks, which made sense.
Yeah.
And since we do have M1 in other areas, like Pam said, was one of the questions, it's not as if we're eliminating a large piece of property that could be M1. We're safe to say. And city did approve and say that it would work, even though that easement, if you see on the drawing, goes between.
That makes sense. Just as our country's changed over time and the way that we do industry, it just doesn't
Yeah,
make as much sense.
it really made sense in the 60s.
Yeah.
I don't see that we're going to have a train stop there and have M1 or some industrial on the train. I see our M1, as we discussed in the meeting, will probably venture out toward I-70 on both sides, or down along I-70, or maybe even closer somewhere in town, but more of another industrial area. We do have industrial areas, which is very fortunate for the city of Oak Grove, but this one did make sense once we really discussed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess my only other hesitation besides that is just the fact that in the comprehensive plan, you know, they kept it as
Absolutely.
light industrial, but I also think none of us were really focused in on that. Like, it's just been vacant land for so long. Like, I know I wasn't like, oh, what's that? You know, like,
Right.
so, I think we can still be consistent with using it as a guide and say, like, in this one instance, it makes more sense. And if you think about, yeah, like the future of the surrounding areas and stuff.
I think the comprehensive plan also was paying close attention to Evergy being next to that area, which made sense that, oh, maybe Evergy would expand, but we also discussed that you would have thought by now Evergy would have tried to acquire that property
they wanted
if
it,
they
yeah.
needed to expand.
Yeah.
I mean, those were just some of the discussion points. Like, get those right, Pam?
I think so, yes. Yeah, we know.
It was really good
Remember
discussion.
every aspect of it, and there is an easement next to that property
Yes.
that was discussed, that the city will retain. So that won't be lost.
So it's an ordinance.
So if there's no further discussion, I'm looking for a motion or not.
I move, right, for first and second reading by title only of Bill number 25-16.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first and second reading of the proposed ordinance of Bill number 2516 to ordinance. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. City Clerk, would you please read the full title of the bill 2 times?
An ordinance granting a change in zoning classification on a parcel of land approximately 1.3 acres located on the north side of 12th Street and Cemetery Road from M1 to R1, all in accordance with the provisions of the Unified Development Code, Title IV, Chapter 405 of the Municipal Code of Oak Grove, Missouri. An ordinance granting a change in zoning classification on a parcel of land approximately 1.3 acres located on the north side of 12th Street and Cemetery Road from M1 to R1, all in accordance with the provisions of the Unified Development Code, Title IV, Chapter 405 of the Municipal Code of Oak Grove, Missouri.
I move for adoption of bill number 25-16.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of Bill Number 2516 to ordinance. Any discussion? If not, City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Melissa Johnson,
Yes.
Shane Shawbaker,
Yes.
Kelly Netto,
Yes.
Tracy Newcomer,
Yes.
Rachel Kilmer,
Yes.
and Pam Pope.
Yes.
The motion is approved, and Bill Number 2516 becomes ordinance number 2142 and is adopted. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing regarding the rezoning of the parcel approximately of 6.3 acres located on 12th Street and Cemetery Road. Matt, again.
Yes, for the sake of time,
Yes.
the staff's report, as well as recommendations, is the same, so I'd just like to reference my previous comments from the past public hearing, but there is duplicate information in staff report in your packet. Thank you.
Does the board have any questions on this 6.3 acreage for city staff? Members of the public who wish to offer testimony regarding this rezoning may step forward at this time. Please state your name and address before your comments. I now open the public hearing. Since there are no comments, I now close the public hearing. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action for Bill Number 2517 regarding an ordinance granting a zoning change for the 6.3 acres on 12th Street and Cemetery Road.
If Evergy did decide they wanted to extend, can it be flipped back to the previous zone or no?
Yes, yeah, so the zoning request can be initiated by either property owner or the city.
I guess just stating for the record, this is the same conversation we had about the last piece of property, same thing. I move for first and second reading by title only of bill number 25-17.
A second.
We have a motion and a second for the first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only, which is Bill Number 2517. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. City Clerk, could you please read the full title of the bill 2 times?
An ordinance granting a change in zoning classification on a parcel of land approximately 6.3 acres located on the north side of 12th Street and Cemetery Road from M1 to R1, all in accordance with the provisions of the Unified Development Code, Title IV, Chapter 405 of the Municipal Code of Oak Grove, Missouri. An ordinance granting a change in zoning classification on a parcel of land approximately 6.3 acres located on the north side of 12th Street and Cemetery Road from M1 to R1, all in accordance with the provisions of the Unified Development Code, Title IV, Chapter 405 of the Municipal Code of Oak Grove, Missouri.
I move for adoption of bill number 25-17.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of Bill Number 2517 to ordinance. Any discussion? If not, City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Melissa Johnson,
Yes.
Shane Shawbaker,
Yes.
Kelly Netto,
Yes.
Tracy Newcomer,
Yes.
Rachel Kilmer,
Yes.
and Pam Pope.
Yes.
The motion is approved, and the ordinance number is 2143 and is adopted. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action for Bill Number 2518 regarding an ordinance approving a detachment agreement between North Creek and Public Water Number 16. Matt?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So the North Creek subdivision is located within the territorial boundaries of Public Water Supply District Number 16. As such, a buyout or a detachment agreement between the North Creek developer, the Water District, and the City of Oak Grove is required in order for the city to be able to provide municipal water services to the subdivision. Back in August of 2018, the city and the developer entered into a development agreement that requires the developer to execute the necessary agreements to pay any applicable buyout fees to the Public Supply District Number 16. This is a condition of the subdivision to be detached from the district and to become eligible to be serviced by the City of Oak Grove's Municipal Water Department. The first phase of the subdivision was successfully detached in December of 2018. The developer and the Water District have now reached an agreement to proceed with detaching the next phase of the subdivision. Under the terms of the agreement, the developer remains responsible for all associated costs of the buyout fees. The attached ordinance and detachment agreement formalizes that detachment and confirms that all three parties, the City of Oak Grove, the Water District, as well as the developer, mutually consent to the terms, allowing us to provide service to those homes in North Creek. So the proposed detachment area encompasses approximately 30.64 acres. There is no cost to the city. The developer buyout to the Water District is $94,984. The developer has already agreed to the agreement, and they have signed it. The Water District has also agreed to it, but they have not signed it. They're waiting for us to sign it. After that, they would sign the agreement. They would make sure that they've received their buyout fees, and then they would file the petition of the buyout or the detachment agreement with the Circuit Court in Jackson County. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Matt. Does the board have any questions for Matt?
I move for first and second reading by title only of Bill Number 25-18.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for the first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only of Bill Number 2518.
I'm
Any-
sorry, I apologize. I said four.
Did you write what she put?
Did you write 2418, or did I say?
You said 2.5.
I said 2.5.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Lord, I thought I said
Okay.
24. I apologize.
All right. Do we need to redo it, or are we good? Okay. I'm at any discussion. If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. City Clerk, would you please read the full title of the bill 2 times?
An ordinance approving a detachment agreement between North Creek Properties LLC, Public Water Supply District Number 16 of Jackson County, and the City of Oak Grove, Missouri, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement. An ordinance approving a detachment agreement between North Creek Properties LLC, Public Water Supply District Number 16 of Jackson County, and the City of Oak Grove, Missouri, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement.
I move for adoption of Bill Number 25-18.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of Bill Number 25-18 to ordinance. Any discussion? If not, City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Melissa Johnson,
Yes.
Shane Shawbaker,
Yes.
Kelly Netto,
Yes.
Tracy Newcomer,
Yes.
Rachel Kilmer,
Yes.
and Pam Pope.
Yes.
The motion is approved, and the ordinance number is 2144 and is adopted. The next item on the agenda is information reports. Matt, do you have one?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Chris, do you have one?
No, ma'am. Oh, sorry.
Wrong Chris.
Wrong, Chris.
I'll start using last names. Chief, do you have one?
Yes, just a reminder, this Thursday evening is National Night Out Against Crime at Webb Park from 5 to 8. We'd love to see you there.
We'll be there. I think we're all going to be there.
Good.
All right. Chris?
No, ma'am.
All right. Kim?
No report.
Scott?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Rachel?
I had someone complaining about speed on Fifth Street, which I know has been an ongoing thing. I'm coordinating with Matt and, communicating with them and trying to make sure that they feel heard and seen and that we're doing all the things
Very
we can.
good. Yes, it
Also
is.
go Chiefs.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Kelly?
No report.
Melissa?
Thank you all for listening to Lacey Hanover's public comment. She is maybe a little hard to hear. She is going to be at National Night Out Against Crime with her own booth with Midwest Transplant Network. She has her own story to tell about her own transplant story. This is her Gold Award. I have 3 girls earning their Gold Award. It's the first time in over 20 years on record. They don't know how many years before that it's been since the Girl Scouts earned their Gold Award in Oak Grove, so this is a big deal. Really proud of my girls. They'll all be there to support her, so please stop by her booth, ask questions. She's there to dispel myths about donation, so stop by and at least say hi to her. It took a lot for her to be here tonight. I think that was very visible, but I'm supposed to push her back past her comfort zone, and that's always been my job since she's been 4 years old. She's been one of them I've had for 13 years, so I'm really proud of her. That's all I have to say about that.
Very good, thank you. Shane?
I know it's been a couple weeks, but Lick Skillet was a blast. So anybody who was involved in that, that was a great time, and go Chiefs.
Thank you. Tracy?
No report.
Pam?
No report.
I would like to say thank you to the Public Works Department for redoing the crosswalk at Salem and 15th to help with the bike trail and keep the kids in the city safe as they cross there. And thank you for doing what Rachel had brought up over by the park at Webb Park. Thank you very much. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.